Hey, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. I hope you are well. Thanks for joining me on what has turned out to be a very rainy Good Friday. It is Easter. How exciting. Hope you're all okay. If you have a question and you can start it with question in capital letters, it just helps me to pick out what is a question and what is, general chit chat. Please feel free to general chit chat. I love how everybody knows everybody after so many years. But I will do my best to answer as many questions as I can. Anything cruise related, YouTube related, feel free. And I will do my best. Fingers crossed this is all working nicely. I can see you guys in the chat. Jackie is early. Hello, Jackie. Nice to see you. And Donna, Lou. It's going to be a good Friday with Emma, apparently. I hope so. I hope so very much. Working just fine. Fabulous. Nice to see you, Lou. So nice to see so many names that I recognize. We started these live streams officially, I think, regularly doing them in 2020, March of 2020. But my first one, if you want to go all the way back, I think it's 2017. And I look so afraid. And I was afraid. Yes. Oh, my goodness. So I've been very, very busy this week. I've been up at the Cruise Maps HQ. We've got so many things coming for the Cruise Globe, for Cruise Maps, new products, all kinds of things. It's been really, really busy. Emma, I love your videos, but I would like them to be longer. There is no way. I mean, I go on a cruise for a week, 2 weeks, and almost every single clip is in a 25-minute video that comes out of it. So there is literally no way unless you wanted to watch the thing twice. And my editor, my brother who edits my videos, would never forgive me. So it's definitely can't be any longer. And also, yeah, I think 20, 25 minutes, half an hour is kind of the longest I do. Is a nice time. You can sit down. You can, if you put me at 2 times speed, 3 times speed, I don't mind. I edit at 3 times speed, so I'm pretty used to that. David says, do you not get fed up with cruising? Absolutely not. So I took my first cruise, I was 11, and I cruised again when I was 14. My parents said that I nagged them every day in between, and I still feel the same. I'm still exactly the same person, I think. I do a lot of very different cruises. It doesn't feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not doing the same thing over and over again. It's very rare that I do the same cruise ship twice. I have a few times, but that's only been really when I've done the cruise, I've liked it, then my family or my friends want to do a cruise, and it's good for me to already have one that I know what's going to happen and I can explain things. So I've done the same cruise twice like that a couple of times, but generally speaking, I'm trying to do as many different things as possible. River cruises, ocean cruises, big ferries, anything like that. Lou says, I watch at 1.75 so I can see more. There we go. Exactly. If you want to slow it down, please feel free to slow them down. Yeah, for sure. Jamie says the same thing. I watch the videos, just watch them at 0.5 times speed, then they'll last longer. And Emma will be talking at a normal speed for once. I don't think half is a normal speed. Probably the 0.75 is close to a normal speed, but that's not how I think. So that's not how I talk. Are there any cruise ship owned private islands in the UK? No, there's no islands that cruise lines can buy and turn into cruise ports, unless I've missed those islands. There's nothing like that around here. Kerry says, can't wait for First Mate Rolo to be released. Me too. Hopefully it can happen. It has been such a headache today. I have such a headache caused by this. So fingers crossed we'll find a way to make it happen. But things have changed since we did the last ones, but I'm very happy to say I've donated the last amount of money. So these Captain Hudson toys we have here, we donate the money to a charity called Mercy Ships. And from the last version, it was £16,405, which is crazy. So adding that on to all kinds of other things, we've raised money through the YouTube video. I went to Sierra Leone to stay on a hospital. So in total, it's 181,000 US dollars. So I'm not expecting that we'll do that with First Mate Rolo. I'd like to raise money for the rescue where I got my dog from. But we'll see. We'll have to see. It's not as easy. What is your favorite port in the UK to sail out of and why? I mean, Southampton is my closest. Southampton is the most popular, so it's going to be Southampton. I've cruised out of Tilbury, I've cruised out of Newcastle, cruised out of Portsmouth, cruised out of Dover. But Southampton, there's just so much choice there. Every cruise goes there pretty much. So, yeah. The hospital video was great. Thank you very much. If you've not already seen that, I think that's the most important thing that I can say. from anything on this channel. So please check it out. Please check it out. Um, yeah, if you can start your question with question, it just really helps me to pick them out, just like that one about the favorite port. And if you can keep the questions as short as possible, it just makes it so much easier for me. So much easier for me. When are you cruising with Holland America? I don't have any booked with Holland America. I'm not avoiding them for any reason. They're pretty much the only mainstream cruise line I've not cruised with. They're just not where I am, where I want to be. And if they are, occasionally I'll have a look and it's like 35 nights. That's not going to work. I need a nice kind of 7-night cruise. Anything longer than that doesn't really work for my work schedule anymore. And yeah, I just haven't yet, but I would like to. I've heard good things about Holland America. The food looks great. The service looks great. I'm sure I'd enjoy it. I've never been on a cruise that I don't enjoy, but yeah, just not worked out. There's so many cruise lines. There's so many places I want to go. So yeah. Cruised out of Bristol, says Jamie. Interesting. I've been to Bristol. I've not cruised out of Bristol though. Happy Easter to those who celebrate. Yes, I have a half an Easter egg in my fridge that I'm going to finish off after this live stream. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, I cannot imagine living in a country where you don't start getting Easter eggs, the big chocolate hollow Easter eggs in January, and then you eat them until they take them away after Easter. I can't imagine it. It's so good. Hello to my dad who's in the chat. I assume my mum's with you. So hello, mum and dad. Hope you are good. What do you recommend for a first-time couple who likes good food, says Stephen. There's 1,000 different answers to that question, Stephen. What I'd recommend you do, go to my website, emmacruises.com, and download what is called my Insider's Guide. So if you put /Insider's Guide, there's all the cruise lines compared, you know, how formal they are, how busy they are, how much they cost, all of that kind of thing. It's so hard to know what good food means because to some people that means great vegan options. To some people that means, you know, I don't know, different food. So it's really, really hard. It's tricky to answer what good food is. And there's so much more than goes into it than food. I would put food quite far down on my list of things that I care about when I cruise. I'd much prefer a cruise line that suits me in terms of what's on the daily schedule. A ship that suits like a good size, one that goes to the right place. Food is quite far down because yeah, if you're on a cruise that's overly formal, you don't want to get dressed up. The food might be great, but you have to like, yeah, it just wouldn't work. Aqua or Prima, which ship do you recommend for a family trip? So I prefer Aqua, but I would absolutely recommend Prima if Prima is somewhere that you want to go. So they're very, very similar. Aqua's a bit bigger, about 10% bigger, I think. And she has the Aqua Coaster, the water roller coaster, instead of the go-karts. I preferred that. I like that. But yeah, both. There's not that much in it. You know, when I went on Aqua, I felt I already know where things are. I sort of know what's going to be there. They have moved some venues, so it makes you sort of question it for a second. But very, very similar. Very similar. Viking River Cruises put special treats in the stateroom for holidays. Do big ocean cruises do that? Do you like cruising over the holidays? Yes, I do. So in my weekly email this week, I found a river cruise deal over next Christmas, which was very cheap because Christmas is normally very, very expensive. And it was still under what I would like to pay for a river cruise. So I sent that in this week's sort of roundup email that I did. I don't think they do anything special in terms of treats. I know on some cruises you'll find like a Lindt chocolate bunny or something like that. I have cruised over Christmas with Norwegian, MSC, and P&O. So I've done Italian, American, and British Christmases, and I don't remember any gifts particularly any different. Thomas says, thanks for the cruise maps promo, just ordered for our next trip. The code is Easter Gift 20. Yes, this is a really good discount. It's very, very rare that we ever do a 20% discount, and this is just for the weekend. So the code is Easter Gift 20, and that is, you know, if you want to get Emma Cruises, we've got our own maps. We've got ones with different cruise lines, different partnerships. We have river cruises now, which is very exciting, and we have an amazing thing. I've not unboxed it yet, but I'll show you soon. And it's this Queen Mary 2, really, really nice piece of artwork, and the discounts on everything. So yeah, please, if you want something, if you want to start an album or something, now is the time. Now is the time. If one makes a crossing on Queen Mary 2, do you need a +1? Absolutely not. I think a cruise like that, which is everyone's very focused on it's iconic, right? Everyone who is there knows a little bit about ships, I think. A lot of people were there for the lectures and stuff like that. So you don't need you if you wanted to make friends with people who are on board, it'd be very easy to do that. Afternoon tea, go to the dancing. I did workout classes, that kind of thing. If you didn't want to make friends, you don't have to. That's the thing. What I often read is I often read guides to solo cruising, and it's all about how to make the most amount of friends. I don't think like if you want to just go and do what you want to do for a week and be left alone and read a book, go on your phone, like do whatever you want, watch a show. That's also an option, right? Don't feel like you have to do anything because you don't. If you're a solo cruiser, that's even more true, right? Because no one is telling you when they want to get up or when they want to eat. Just do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Wish I could go on a cruise, but I'm terrified. Let me know what you're terrified about, and I will tell you why I'm not terrified or worried in the slightest. I feel so much safer on a cruise, worry a lot less on a cruise. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be fun, right? That's the point. Jamie says the Cruise Globe is also 20% off, although 20% of free is still free. Yes, the Cruise Globe is our website version. You can see all of your cruises, the actual routes that the ship took for free on there. And the Cruise Maps is the physical print product. So we have a discount on physical prints. The website is free. So 20% off free. Absolutely, yes. Ron says, no way. I thought these lives were subscriber only. This is awesome. No, this is just YouTube. This is just it. Can you settle a debate between me and the missus? How tall are you? How tall do you think I am? Please comment how tall you think I am. Because I shared some pictures recently with Sherry from Cruise Tips TV and Tony from La Liga Loca, and I'm right in the middle of their height. So if you... I don't know if that helps at all. But let me know how tall you think I am, and then I'll let you know. Lou says 5'7". Not bad, not bad. Do you have a video on Japan? Yes, I have quite a few videos on Japan. I took a cruise to Japan, one with Royal Caribbean, one with Norwegian, and one with Princess. The Princess one was a very long time ago. If you want to watch those videos, you can. I don't think I'd recommend it, but you can. Versus the one I did with Norwegian Cruise Line, that was last year. So yeah, I made a video just about the excursions on that one. Which is on the Norwegian Cruise Line YouTube channel. The one about the normal trip is on my channel. And then that's the one where I had the bath cabin. Yeah. We have some guesses. I'm tall enough. I am tall enough. Yeah, I'm average kind of height. We've got 5'7", 5'4", 5'8", 5'7". 5'7" seems to be popular. 6'1", I'm not over 6 foot tall. 5'6", yeah. I'd say 5'6", that's my final answer. I think I'm around 5'6". Not measured myself in quite a long time, but that was the last one. But yes. In Japan, did you get to Osaka Castle? Yes, but I was on a proper excursion. So if you check out that video on Norwegian's YouTube channel, then you'll be able to see what we did there. Yes. Ron says, you recommend getting a first-time travel agent for a first-time cruiser like me? Yes, I pretty much recommend getting a travel agent for every cruiser. I mean, I have done 76 cruises and I use a travel agent. So I don't see why you wouldn't want free help, right? It shouldn't cost anything extra. And then I take more risks when I use a travel agent because, I travel a lot. I don't always have time to fly out to the port before if I'm only going on a short flight. Normally, I would always recommend you fly out a day early. It's not worth risking your cruise. But if I've booked it through a travel agent, if it goes wrong, I know I'll phone her and she'll sort it out. It's not me. So I take more risks when I use a travel agent. Do you recommend P&O Arvia? Yeah, I took my nieces on P&O Arvia. We had a good cruise on there. I've been on Iona, the sister ship, twice. Arvia, pretty much the only difference is that they have Yorkshire pudding wraps, which that's enough of a difference, right? It's good. It's very different in school holidays and outside school holidays, though. I did one on Iona in school holidays and one outside, and the difference was really, really noticeable. It was super busy on the school holiday one. My dad says, please start your question with questions so Emma notices. Yes. See, I noticed that. I noticed that one from Dad. I like that, a picture of my dad there. We were on board a cycling cruise that we took. It was lovely, lovely. Do you think that YouTube's ad change for the mid-roll ads will change things much for you? Interesting question. I was doing a bit of research on this recently. I think so. I think I'll just lose money. I think that's the only way that I can see this happening. But thankfully to me, I have my Patreon, I have my company I run, the cruise maps. I have lots of different things going on, so it'll be fine. But I can't see any outcome other than it being worse for me, as far as I can see. Can you recommend a travel agent? Yeah, if you go to my website, emmacruises.com, and just click book a cruise, I have recommendations for a team in the UK and a team in the US. And my UK team, I was on board Norwegian Aqua with them, so that was super nice, super, super nice. Would you recommend Cunard's Queen Anne for a mid-40s couple? The first question I would ask is, have you been on Cunard before? Because Queen Anne is quite different from the other Cunard ships. It's trying to be more modern. It's trying to be younger kind of passenger demographic. Mid-40s is definitely on the young end for a Cunard cruise. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that their average age, I did look it up for my video I made recently. The average age of someone on a cruise is something like 50. But the average age of someone on a Cunard cruise came out at 67, I think. So it is just an older passenger demographic. But it depends what you like in a cruise. Cunard are a very traditional cruise line. They're quite a formal cruise line. It is toned down a bit on Queen Anne. It's a bit more relaxed. But even still, it is you want to dress up if you're going to go on a Cunard cruise. It is very traditional cruise ship entertainment, singing, dancing, that kind of thing. It's what a lot of people think of when they think of a cruise. But it was well done. I think Queen Anne suits me better than the other ships. My video about Queen Anne I just released recently. If you haven't seen that, please check that out. Yes. Jack says, managed to break my arm last weekend. That's not good, Jack. I hope you're okay. Everyone say get well soon, Jack. Not good. Not good. Yeah, I see Jamie say cruising is one of the safest types of holiday. I think it is true. Like, you're safer on a cruise ship than you are in a car. That's for sure. So, yeah. I love how I could do a live, sit here completely in silence, and let you guys answer my questions, because you know the answers that I'm going to say. You can probably already hear them in my voice. Anna says, get well soon, Jack. Jamie says, get well soon, Jack. Hopefully that'll work. I don't know if we have the power to heal broken arms, but maybe we do. Maybe we do. What do you think of P&O Azura? I've not been on Azura. She's the only P&O cruise ship I've not been on. But I was on Ventura. I did a Christmas cruise on her a few years ago. It was sort of just after the pandemic, so things were a little bit different, I guess. But we had a good cruise on her for sure. Can you cross economically on your own, New York to Southampton and back? So it's always more expensive to cruise solo, pretty much. I think solo cruisers get a bad deal. Queen Mary 2, it doesn't have solo cabins as far as I know. Maybe it has some normal cabins that are designated as solo, but it doesn't have, like, it's not like Norwegian Cruise Line where they have smaller cabins for solos. So I probably would expect to pay double what you would pay if you were sharing a room. So if you can find a friend that wants to come on a free cruise, that's good. But even still, my cruise that I took, I was sharing an inside cabin with my brother. It was £709 for 8 nights. So the two of us, 1,400. The flights, like, I had to fly one way and then come back. The flights were almost as much as the cruise. So I think if you add in all of the food that you can eat, the money you'll save by just not being on land spending money, it might actually be a good idea. But yeah, it's much harder to do solo, for sure. Yeah. Oh, we were on a cruise with you to Christmas markets. I was going to say hi, but I thought I would leave you to enjoy your trip. I would still enjoy my trip if you said hi, unless you said something horrible to me. But I hope you had a good cruise. That was an interesting one. We had a change in start port on that one because the water level was too high, and we didn't really know where the itinerary was going to go. It was kind of every day that they sort of told us in advance where we would be going, but interesting indeed. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Ron says, have you gone on a 14-day cruise? Thinking of doing a 14-day for my first. Ooh, I have done a few 14-day cruises. Yes. Probably only 2, maybe, I think. But 14 days is lovely. I think ideal for me. It's difficult now because I try to run my business on board, but there's certain things that have to wait. So when I come back, I have quite a lot to do. So I try and do cruises that are no longer than a week now. Maybe 10 days is lovely. 12 days, really nice. 14 is great. If you can, do 14 for sure. Why not? You'll really settle in after 14 days. It takes me about 7 days to learn my way around. So by 14, you'll be all good. You'll be all good. Um, yeah. Oh, Jamie says I did a 16 night last year. Was a bit long. Prefer 10 days ish. Yeah, 10 days I think is really nice for sure. Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. If you start on a 14-day cruise, can't imagine doing anything less. Yeah, it is very different. It is very nice because it feels kind of like, I don't know. It just feels like everything's a bit slower because they're not sort of trying to rush through getting the formal night, the theme night, the whatever else done. So you don't feel like you have to do everything. If I take a 3-day cruise, I have to do it, everything, of course. Yeah. Oh, Ron is most scared of getting seasick. Yeah, I mean, I'm someone who I don't go backwards on a train. I can't go in if I go in a car for more than an hour, I'm taking medicine. But on 95% of the cruises I take, I feel completely fine and I don't get seasick. And the 5%, I don't want to overrepresent the 5% because all of those five, I think one cruise I took in the Mediterranean, I was seasick, and that was just bad luck. But the other ones were all my fault. It was a transatlantic in January. It was the Arctic Circle in March on a 30-year-old cruise ship. A normal cruise, you'll be totally fine. It's just, what is the weather? It's so hard to predict. People always say, what is the chance of a storm? I don't know. Like, the weather people can't predict the weather. So I don't know. But yeah, if you do peak times, most cruises you won't tell at all. You're totally fine. Ron says your favorite seasickness meds are prescription only here in the USA. I don't think that they are, Ron. You can't buy them in the UK. So I bought 6 boxes of them on board my last cruise, and I'm just gonna do that every time I ever go on a cruise. Yeah, yeah. Jamie says it's very rare to get seasick in the med. Yeah, if you are nervous, just book a cruise that doesn't really sail very far. I got for my album, we've just added river cruises now. So I got my river cruise print. And I don't know if you guys remember last year I did a Venice cruise. And we traveled 68 miles, which is nothing. Normally a cruise is 1,000 miles, 4,000 miles, 68 miles in 7 days. And that was just scenic sailing pretty much. We didn't even need to go that far. We probably could have done 20. But yeah, of course, you don't have to do a river cruise. River cruise, you're not going to get seasick because you're not on the sea and it barely moves. But if you do something like, I took a cruise with Azamara. We didn't have any sea days. Every day we pretty much were in port until 6, 7, 8 p.m. and then we arrive again in the morning. So there was no time to be seasick. There was no time really to be at sea. But if you start with a cruise like that, then yeah. I've never been on Explorer Journeys. No, that would be lovely, lovely, lovely. Usually you say less is more. Not really for cruises, I wouldn't say. Yeah, so it's called Bonin. I think that's how you pronounce it. Is the one that my friend Sherry gave me on board, and it was absolutely magical, magical. Off the top of your head, which was the best specialty restaurant on a cruise from your recent trip? Worth it. It would be the Thai restaurant that I went to on Norwegian Aqua. That was very, very good. And worth it. Yeah, the only thing I was giving up was eating somewhere else because that was a complete press trip. It was only journalists, only travel agents. It didn't cost money. So all I was giving up was eating somewhere else, which, when you're on a cruise, you can't eat everywhere. So that is something. But yeah, worth it. Also, I was looking at the prices, of course. It's between normally $40 and $60 for a specialty meal on Norwegian Aqua. And I don't think that's that bad because I think I've got it in my head because I look at a lot of the ones that are more like shows and stuff on Royal Caribbean and other cruise lines, and sometimes they're $180 or something. Whew. So $40 sounds all right. Ron says, I thought Quells was your favorite. I used Quells for years, but even when I take it, I still feel rough. But I didn't realize that, you don't know what you don't know. I thought everyone just felt rough. But yeah, with the Bonin, I was looking at the horizon going up and down. I was eating my normal full meals. I could work on my laptop. I could type. It was amazing. It was dreamy. The cruise map said it would take 3 days to verify my cruise, but it has been over a month now. I assume you're talking about the Cruise Globe, which is the free version. Of course, it is free. We have 16 people working full time on verification, so please be patient with us. I don't think it should have taken a month though. So if you want to email us, email hello@thecruisemaps.com and we can take a look. But please do keep in mind this is a free product that we are letting you use. So please go easy on us. The real maps, they get done instantly, but we have to prioritize, of course, those over the Cruise Globe. But yeah. Do you ever get cruise lines offering you a free cruise in return for a review? And if not, would you consider it? So yeah, I took my first press trip, I don't know, 2019 maybe. Often press trips are a kind of like, it will be journalists and travel agents, and they'll say you can come on board for a portion of a cruise. Here's 3 days of a cruise, 4 days of a cruise. They can be quite organized, as in this is your dinner, this is the showtime, that kind of thing. And it's a great way to get on a cruise. For me now, it's not like I'm missing getting on a cruise. That's not the thing I need in my life. I need more time, if anything. So a lot of them I turn down. If I want to work with a cruise line, it has to be for a certain reason. So I did recently a trip with MSC where they let me in the yacht club. That's not something that I've ever done myself. I did one with Norwegian and I had a bath in my cabin. Normally I'm in an inside ocean view balcony if I'm treating myself, but a bath, that was amazing. And that was an interesting one because that was one where Norwegian wanted to promote Japan, my favorite cruise destination, and my first ever cruise ship was there. So yeah, if you're interested, if you go to my website, just type in emmacruises.com and then 2024 cruises. I've listed every cruise that I took last year, how much I paid for every single one, or if I didn't pay, what the retail price of it would be. I think I did 3 trips I didn't pay for last year and 8 that I did. So yeah. Jamie says the cheaper the cost, the higher expectation from customers. I do find that sometimes. I think in cruising, it's interesting because on the cheaper end of cruises, people tend to be more happy, I think. Whereas when it's higher, I guess there's more things to go wrong. I don't know. I love the Cruise Globe. Thank you very much. What we have at the moment with the Cruise Globe is the very, very start. And it's so nice. It's so good that everyone is loving it as it is. It's such a cool way. You can see all of your cruises on the website. It's a globe. You can zoom in and see where you docked or you didn't dock or where you went round in a circle. And it's the real data from the cruise completely for free. But this is just the start. I have so many things that I forget that we've not got them live yet. So yeah, there's so much more coming. Yeah. Oh, I see a comment says I don't like suites that have a tub instead of a shower. I would pay if there was a way I could just rent a bath for an hour. I would absolutely do it. Absolutely. Are inside cabins as bad as people make them out to be? I mean, I don't doubt when someone goes on an inside cabin cruise and they say, I hate this, I'm claustrophobic, I don't like it. They're absolutely right. Like, I completely believe them. They're not lying, but it's just not how I feel. I've cruised in, I don't know how many, 30, 40 inside cabins. Probably more than that. I think I'm just over 50% inside cabins on all the cruises I've ever taken. And I'm going to keep doing it because I like them, because it depends on the cruise. Like if I'm doing my most recent cruise, well, it's not my most recent, but a recent cruise that I was talking about on Queen Anne. It went to Bruges in autumn. It's just shipping containers. I don't need to see that. There's no view. I'll save the money and go in an inside cabin. I did the same on my transatlantic with Queen Mary 2. Sometimes it's double the price to have a balcony, and I would just prefer 2 cruises, honestly. Yeah. Matthew says, love the Cruise Globe, just waiting for pre-2015 cruises to be added. Yes. So what we're doing basically is, because we have so many cruises added after 2015, we can see how do cruise ships go from this place to this place. They didn't drop off the data. It doesn't exist. So we are guessing a bit. But once we have 10,000 examples of a cruise going from here to here, and they go like this, we're going to assume that you went like that, right? It's really interesting to me. I don't know how interesting you guys find this, but it's so interesting to see a ship that sails out just into international waters, hangs around there for a bit, and then comes back because they have to be in international waters to open the shops and the casino and stuff like that. And you can see what they're doing. They're not going A to B. They're doing whatever works for them and their time. Of course they are. Makes sense. Yeah, the average blob plops. Exactly that. I know Will, my co-founder, who understands all of this. He's studied naval architecture. He's the genius behind this. Would not like me coming on the internet and calling it the average blob plots, but that's how I think about it. It is the average blob plots. Do you think there would be a market for itineraries where the port of call had overnight stays? Yes, I've done plenty that have overnight stays. I've done cruises that have 3 days, like 3 days in ports. I love them. I think it's really good. I have cruises booked right now that have overnight stays. Yeah, it's not that uncommon. And I like them. I think they're good. Is buying a drinks package on P&O RV worth it? There's very few people I know that can drink as much as it costs in alcohol. Maybe you can. I do have friends who can. I can't. Definitely can't. I get a soda package when I cruise with P&O, and that I can drink that much soda for sure. For sure. Wow, David says, same here, Emma. Go for an inside cabin, even when I've shared with people I never knew. Wow, that's brave. That's cool. I like that. They used to do that a lot. They don't do it so much. Yeah, my dad says, seasickness tip. Don't wait until you're feeling sick before taking the pills, as your stomach will have gone into panic mode and it limits absorption. Really? Is that true? That's cool. Take them as early as possible. Yes. So on a cruise, if there is going to be a storm or there is going to be bad weather, the captain will normally tell you. They'll normally come over the overhead system. They'll say, we're expecting it to get worse this evening and into tomorrow. This is what it's going to be. And I listen. And if they say it's going to be particularly bad, I might take some medicine. But really, it depends. But yes, it is better to prevent it if you can, for sure. Lucy's in here. Hey, Lucy. Nice to see you. Jamie says, I was on a cruise last year with overnight stays in 3 separate ports. That is really good. That is really nice. Yeah, sometimes the convenience of a drinks package makes it worth it. Yeah, I think P&O's is particularly not worth it. There are a few people who I know. I do have friends who have gone on a P&O cruise and they've come home and they've said, this is how much I saved by having the drinks package. But I think you have to be really committed to that cause and drinking every single day. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Yeah, the bonine is magic for me. Some swear by the patch, but be aware that can cause weird side effects. Yeah, I tried that on board Norwegian Aqua. The side effects were far, far, far worse than anything I've ever felt from seasickness. It was terrible. It was really quite scary. I'm not doing it again. But you never know. That's the thing. You have to test these things. I've tested it. I'm not doing it again. And the bonine worked great. So I'm going to stick with that one for now. Yeah. Yeah, Bermuda, that's what I did. So I went to Bermuda on board Norwegian Breakaway years ago, 2015, maybe? No, 2018, a long time ago. And then I did it again more recently. I love Bermuda. Bermuda's really cool. I did a cycling workout recently where the guy on the screen was cycling around Bermuda. It's really cool. Prefer to be in Bermuda, but still. Is Morella's drinks package worth it? It's cheap, but there's so much included. Yeah, so I wrote an article just about this week because I recently took a Morella cruise where I upgraded, and it's kind of those situations where I think I broke even, really. Like didn't massively benefit me, but also the ease of it was so worth it. So for me, I pretty much upgraded. It was £13.50 a day, and I upgraded so I could get cans of soda. Normally fountain soda, I'm totally fine. I'll drink any fountain soda, but don't know what Morella do to it. It's not good. The cans are much, much better. How many cruises do you have booked at a given time? 2, 3, maybe. Sometimes none. Like I do let it run out sometimes. But normally a couple, yeah. Yeah, Lucy says, we went on Iona and we worked out the package. You have to drink 6 alcoholic drinks per day. If you've been in port all day, can be tricky for some, but not everyone. Yeah, exactly. That's it. I've never drunk 6 alcoholic drinks on a cruise in a day in my life. I don't think. I just wouldn't. So, yeah. Going to Norway out of Southampton, is it best to take the bus? What bus? I think I need some more information, Rich. Where is your bus going from and going to? Do you mean from the airport to Southampton or in Norway? I don't know. Do you know if cruise lines offer a accommodation for blind cruisers? Yeah, I have a friend who cruises. He's blind. He's written an article for me on my website about his experience cruising blind. He doesn't have a guide dog or anything like that. He stays in a regular cabin. But he loves it. He absolutely loves it. He started cruising not all that long ago, and he's cruised with me since then. He's always booking more cruises. His countdown is really impressive. And he loves it because, yeah, it's so nice for him to know where things are, sort of get settled in. Yeah. Yeah. Check out that article, please. Go to emmacruise.com and you will find it on there. Yes. What/when are the next videos coming out? So I'm working on 2 videos about Norwegian Aqua. Because this is one on Norwegian's channel, one on mine, that means I have double the work to do at the start. I can't release one. It links to the other. So because I did basically two press trips back to back, the first one I did was mostly US media, German travel agents, and then the second was UK travel agents. In the first one, I had a balcony cabin. In the second one, I moved into Haven. So I have the normal story, the 5-day story on my channel, and then a video about Haven on Norwegian's channel. So I have to do both and link them together. My brother edits my videos for me now. Best guy ever. And the first one, we're done. We're just tweaking it. The second one, he's working on at the moment. So I think not this Monday coming, the Monday after, I think we'll have 2 videos. So that's going to be 45 minutes maybe of content, so hopefully you'll have time to watch that. I hope so. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing my link. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. There you go. That was not my mouth dribbling. I found this the other day. Look at that, dribbling my squash. I found this Princess Cruises mug the other day. I have no idea where it came from. I'm guessing a Princess Cruise. Have you tried the giant slide at the back of the Royal Caribbean ships? I think it's called the Ultimate Abyss. Yes, I've done the Ultimate Abyss. Yep. You can't take cameras or anything down it, so there's no evidence really. But yes, I've done it. Yeah. Was there something you did not like about being in the Haven? Yes, they have no staircase in the Haven. And I don't understand why. I normally take the stairs everywhere when I cruise, but I found myself going in the lift. You know, my cabin was down 1 from the main lounge, so I'd go in the lift, which is really weird to me. Why is there no stairs? There's stairs outside Haven, of course, so you just wander along the corridor, go down and go back in. I just find it weird. Yeah. Interesting. What flavor is your squash today? It is just Vimto today. Vimto. Have you ever taken a food-centric cruise? If not, would you? Not really. I wouldn't describe myself as a foodie. I get comments all the time about how I have a diet of a toddler. That suits me fine. I went to Spoons for my lunch today. It was lovely. I love it. Is Epicurean on Iona worth the astronomical cost? I don't think so. I did it once. I'm not really. I just want to eat the food. I don't really want to play with the food. And I just remember getting pea foam, being served pea foam, which is literally peas in a foam format. Don't know. Like, good fun. But I've done it once. I don't feel like I need to do it again. Are you drink squash? Yes, I'm drinking squash. Diluted fruit juice basically is squash. Yes. Posh people get carried everywhere, so they don't need the stairs. Maybe that's it. Maybe. I don't know. But I loved, the pool deck was so nice. The food was so good. I don't know that I would leave the Haven. That's the problem. But yes. How many cruises have you been on, do you think? I've been on 76, I think 76. My mum is answering a question about Marco Pierre White. Yes, I did a cooking class on P&O with Marco Pierre White, the celebrity chef. So probably he's the most famous person I've met on a cruise for sure. Probably. Any US trips coming up? I don't have any planned. I was in the US in January, so yeah, I did a cruise from New York, which was lovely. Has there been any talk about Plushy Rolo yet? Well, yeah, a little bit. I'm having a real headache with it, a real struggle. I don't want to go into it on the live stream because it's too high profile issues. But we have 2,000 people on the wait list. So I really, really, really hope that we can make it happen. It's such a brilliant charity that rescued my dog Rolo. He was a couple of months old, found on the streets. He was found in a graveyard by himself, bless him. And they looked after him. They, do all the vets things, and they're trying to neuter and spay the dogs so there's not more dogs. And yeah, how plushy is the real Rolo? He is super plushy. He's so fluffy. He's so soft. He is a darling, a darling. But yes, so fingers crossed. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic, right? But yeah, we'll see. We will see. You've been taught to cook by Margot Pierre White. Did it help? I cooked a risotto on board, and he said that's a good risotto. And now, if I want to cook rice, I put it in the microwave, and I think of him every single time because I just don't care enough. Not interested in supporting dog charity. People are more important. Fair enough. Well, I'm interested in supporting the charity, so that's what I will be doing. I think we've raised $181,000 for Mercy Ships now. It's time for a change. And also there's 9,000, I think, Captain Hudson's in the world. So, yeah. Who wants to see Rolo make an appearance on the live stream? He has before, but it is quite hard because he's 1 year old now. He's not quite a puppy anymore. But yes. Did you receive my request on your map project? I have no idea. I'm sorry. What is the worst cruise line so far? Costa. I had great cruises on Costa. I don't think I have a worst cruise line. I mean, if I put together, some cruise line must be at the bottom because I just don't remember them. But there's no cruise line that's just bad at everything. Some of them, maybe the food I didn't like. Some of them, the entertainment doesn't suit me. Some of them, the ship I don't like the design of. I don't think there's a worse cruise line for sure. Jamie says, I want to see him knock over everything and cause havoc. Yeah, he would, but he'd pull over the lights. He'd spill my drink onto my laptop. It's just kind of hard. This room is peaceful for the live stream. But yeah, I can get him in here again. As long as it's coordinated. So he's only here for 5 minutes. Maybe. No such thing as a bad cruise. Yeah, I would agree. I've never been on a cruise that I wouldn't do again. And yeah, as long as it is safe and it is clean and I'm not hungry, I don't see how it can be bad. What is the thing that people do on cruises that you hate? For me, it's when they block the lifts and then decide that they don't want to go in after ages. Yeah, that's annoying. I think it's just being generally rude to the crew. And just the way I hear people speak to the crew sometimes. I hear my mum in my head saying, good manners cost nothing. Good manners cost nothing. Come on, say please and thank you. Some people are just so rude. But yeah. Which cruise terminal is your favorite? I can barely name cruise terminals. I'm just going on the cruise. I'm excited. I'm going on the cruise. I'm not looking at the terminal particularly. Yeah, some people are never happy unless they're complaining, even if there's nothing wrong. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Genuinely, I think that's true. I genuinely think people enjoy... I think they like the attention of being the center of something's gone wrong. Some people... I can't think of anything worse. Rolo, we will pay for the damages he causes. Okay, fair enough. Except for a transatlantic in January. Well, the thing is, I took a transatlantic cruise in January, being someone who does get seasick and normally never books a cruise with more than 2 sea days. But my mum and my dad wanted to go on that cruise. It's very iconic. I enjoyed the lectures. I got seasick. It's a great story to tell because we had a terrible storm. It's fine. That was my office for the week. There's worse offices for sure, even on a cruise that's in bad weather. Have you done the Sudokus on P&O? I'm not great at a Sudoku, but I do try them. I do try. I like it if I can have an iPad or something and I can write in the potential numbers. That helps me a lot. But I do like a Sudoku. I do, for sure. What is the last cookie you ate? I don't know. I've been eating Easter eggs for quite a long time. I think I've had a cookie in weeks. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Okay, thank you so much for these questions, by the way. I can barely focus my eyes because they're moving. Where do you find the lovely casual and wrinkle-free dresses you cruise with? I love this. Wrinkle-free is my main thing when I book my clothes. When I buy my clothes. cruising is in my head. I say cruise terms all the time. But if I buy something and I'm like, that needs ironing, I wouldn't buy it for a start. I'm not ironing on the cruise. But yeah, a lot of my dresses, recently they're from a company called Popsy. Not sure if you know them, but if you Google Emma Cruise's dresses, I have a link to all of my dresses. So some of them are, on Amazon. Some of them are just random things I've picked up, but I have the links to pretty much all the dresses that I wear on there. And the Popsy ones, they don't wrinkle and they have pockets. Yeah, my dad says pockets, which is a rare treat in a dress. So it's helpful to have your phone and cruise card and whatever else you need. Would you consider a Captain Hudson Halloween costume for me or for someone else? Yeah, that would be cool. What is your real job, says Peter? I'm very lucky in that I've been working for myself in the cruise industry since 2021. Before that, I had what some people would call a real job, and I worked in data development for a big group of car insurers. Some people think that that's more of a real job than this one, which is really weird to me because in that old job, all I did was make money for some men who had a lot of money. 3 men who owned that company. They owned 64 car insurance companies. They just wanted more, and I just made them more money. And that's fine, but that, now I get to help thousands of people to go on cruises. I get to run my company, the Cruise Maps, the Cruise Globe. We get to raise money through Captain Hudson. We write books, loads of different things go on in my business. And yeah, it does make me laugh. Sometimes people say, why don't you get a real job? Meaning my old sort of job. I don't think that's any more real than this job. If anything, I think it's less real. This feels to me, sometimes I get comments being like, oh, your life must be so empty. You're not helping anyone. Well, compared to before, I think I'm helping a lot more people now. But anyway, if it supports you, it's a real job. Absolutely. HMRC, they certainly don't say, oh, don't pay any tax, Emma. It's not a real job. How were the cookies on Aqua? I never found one. I didn't find a single cookie. So sad. You work much harder now, though. I do. Don't tell my old job though, but yeah, I work much more and much harder. But it's very, very different. Very, very different. Wrinkles and no pockets. Fantastic. Yeah, pockets in a dress. Exactly. Emma Cruises is going to become Emma Fashion. Lol. Yeah. After so many cruises, don't you get bored? Is there a lot to look forward to still? Genuinely curious. Never been. Yeah. I mean, I took my first cruise. I was 11. And I do a lot of different cruises. I think if I was just cruising in the Caribbean 76 times, I mean, I wouldn't be bored of it, but it would be different. Whereas if we look at the cruises that, oh, my mum says the band have just started in the Purple Turtle, which is a pub. If I was doing the same Caribbean cruise, I wouldn't get bored, but it would be different. If I look at the cruises that I've taken, they're very, very different. I went to the Canary Islands recently. That was lovely. I did a transatlantic. Before that, I was in Japan. I was in Sierra Leone on board a hospital. Like going from Sierra Leone on a hospital to a transatlantic to the Canary Islands, it is so different. So different. HMRC is like the IRS, the tax collectors. Yeah, I think so. Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, right? That's what it's called? I think so. Gonna need to cancel my Aqua booking. No cookies, no booking. I love that. They do have them on board. I have seen them on board since. My cruise was sort of the press cruise, so I think a few things were a bit different, but I didn't find any cookies. But I have seen them on board since, so yeah. What's Captain Hudson's origin story? How did you come up with it? So I didn't come up with it. It was someone in the live stream audience who came up with it. There's plenty of people who say they were the first, but I'm not sure who really was the first. But my real cat is called Hudson. He often joins us for the live streams. I have the Dreamies right here, but he's a cat. And he comes less and less now because he's old. He's just asleep. But my real cat's called Hudson. He would join us on the live streams. And someone started calling him Captain Hudson. I don't know who it is. But anyway, I found this company that makes these soft toys. I wanted to do something for charity. I didn't want to. I've done 2 charity head shaves. I did a 57-kilometer walk in a day. I didn't want to do any of those again. They were painful. The haircut took so long to grow back. So I thought we could raise money by selling these toys. And I needed 300 for it to happen. The first version, we sold 1,000. This is the first version. And since then, we've had 5 versions of him. So that's where it's going. And then he's grown into so much more than that. You know, we have Captain Hudson books now on Amazon. So it's about the adventures that he goes on. Of course, he runs his own ship where everyone is an animal. Of course, he does. And only kids come on there. So they're kind of for kids, but adults love them. How old is the real Hudson? So he's a rescue cat, so we're not really sure on his age. So we guess based on what the vet said, he's probably about 12, maybe. So yeah. Do you think passenger behavior has changed a lot since you started cruising? Not at all. I don't think so. I was 11 on that first cruise though, so I was the one doing the bad behavior, I think. I was the one sitting on the stairs getting in the way and hanging out in the hot tubs with my friends. So it's probably me. But I don't think so. I mean, I started cruising on Norwegian Cruise Line, which is a very casual cruise line. So I didn't do the Cunard stuff until a lot later. Robert says, do you think you would do other merch for Mercy Ships like a mug? I wouldn't. Mercy Ships do though. So I'd say get that directly from Mercy Ships because that would be so much easier, and more would go to more would be able to go to charity. Is there a way to do a search through all the comments from all videos to see where Captain Hudson was first mentioned? Probably in just normal videos, but it was definitely a live stream, and this live chat kind of disappears a bit. You can see it, but it doesn't come up in any searches. So not really. And it was probably 3 years ago, I think. So yeah, it's been a long time. And now, I have Captain Hudson everything. I'm under a Captain Hudson blanket as we speak. I keep thinking I've got to the bottom of the comments and then it jumps down. It jumps down. Oh, Rich says, love that you were looking to do a charity thing for the dog rescue. Yeah, me too. They can do a lot with it. They can do a lot. The money goes very far, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah. Weren't we the Spud Club for a while? You were the Spud Club. You've had plenty of names. I mean, I started this YouTube channel in 2017. So in that time, thankfully, many of you have been here since the beginning, which is incredible, or been here for years. Emma pointed the wrong way at the chat. Yeah, this is flipped over. So for me, the chat is over here. So that's why I lean this way, because there's loads of space. But actually, it's not, is it? And for me, this banner is up here. Yeah. Oh, Easter sale. So this is just till Monday. So please don't miss out on this discount if you want it. Easter gift 20% off. 57 kilometers. Where did that start and finish? So it was down on the south coast of England. So we started near Eastbourne and we finished in Hove. So it was along the cliffs and the downs and everything. And yeah, I started at 8 a.m. and ended about midnight, walking the entire time. It was painful. It was a feat not designed to walk that far. Physically, like my legs and stuff, I was ready to do it. We've been training, but there's no shoes in the world that you can walk 57 kilometers in without getting a blister. It's just impossible. And it got dark too. That's the thing. We were sort of walking across Brighton, all these fields in the dark with head torches on. It was much better in the day. Much better in the day. Do you care about loyalty programs? No. Do you have a favorite? I think genuinely I'm missing some just because I have not kept them up to date. Sometimes I find I have multiple accounts and I could merge them together, but the perks are not that great from any of them. My favorite will probably be Norwegians because that's the one that I've actually got myself and I deserve all of those points. The MSC one that I have is one I did a status match, so they copy Norwegian status, which is lovely. Thank you, MSC. But apart from that, I'm only on the lower tiers on most other cruise lines because I'm not loyal to any cruise line. Like I like to do a variety. Yeah, 35 miles. Yes, 35 miles. What is your favorite takeaway? What is your order? Chinese. Chinese. I always feel really weird to how we in England we would say, "What do you want for dinner?" I want a Chinese. I'll go get a Chinese. We'll order a Chinese takeaway. Takeaway. That's what we would say. Obviously some noodles, some rice, chicken, pineapple. Yeah. Easter celebration plans. I'm gonna eat the other half of my Easter egg that is in the fridge after this live stream. That's my plan. That's my plan. Oh. There's some. I have not heard anything happening on board Mardi Gras, but I'm sure I will. I try and keep up to date with the cruise news, but it is so much. It is so much. My friend Doug does cruise radio and he does very short, 60-second everyday cruise news. So I try and keep up to know what's going on. I try and watch my friend Tony's channel, Don's channel. I'm trying to see everything, but it's so much news, so much news. No pizza, says Carol. No, I went to Weatherspoons for my lunch, so I'm I'm all fed. Thank you very much. Just need the Easter egg. Yeah, Easter egg hunt will be fun. Easter egg hunt would be fun on a cruise. It might be, but I maybe this is a country thing because whenever I did Easter egg hunts as a kid, they're chocolate eggs. You hide them around, just chocolate in foil, and sometimes we wouldn't find them, and then you'd find them ages later, like in the garden. But I think in other countries you put them in plastic eggs, right? Which would make more sense. But I could just see someone not finding something and then 6 months later finding a moldy egg. Like, I don't think they'd want to do that. Who do you get your travel insurance through? Mine is for a company called Cover For You at the minute, but I've used tons of them. If you go to my website, I have an insurance guide. Actually, it's probably in the description. And it will tell you what to look for, what comparison websites to use, that kind of thing. Yeah. No hot cross buns. No, I don't like a hot cross bun. It's got raisins in it. Why would you put raisins in bread? Just ruin the bread. Yeah. Do you plan on doing a vlog with Gary from Tips for Travelers? Love Gary. We don't cross over in terms of our cruises because he's in the Antarctic and I'm on MSC whatever else. So I would love it, but yeah. Oh, Fraser's here. Hey, Fraser from Norwegian Breakaway. Lovely. I've been watching your cruise. I recognize it. It's a long time ago I was on board Breakaway, but a lovely ship for sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can't read capital letters. I don't know if it's about anyone else, but it takes me so much longer to read it. So my top tip would be if you have a question, start it with question, just like this. Keep it short and don't do it in capital letters. I just can't read it. Do you have any plans to do a cruise on Morella Discovery from Turkey? No, I don't have any plans to. I've cruised on Morella Discovery. I've cruised on Discovery 2 twice. I've cruised on Explorer. I've cruised on Explorer 2. I'm missing Voyager. So I think if I do another Morella cruise soon, it'll probably be that one. But I don't have any plans to because I was on Morella very recently. Very, very recently. I've never been on a canal boat. No. Have you seen that world cruise that you live on forever? Would you do it if it was free? I would miss my dog and my cat too much and my life on land. But if I was older, maybe if I retired and then lived on the ship, that would be pretty cool. I don't know how that works in reality, or if it does work. So we'll see. Any more Virgin Cruise videos coming soon? Maybe. I don't have a Virgin Cruise booked right now. I would like to, though. I feel like my Virgin Cruise experience, it was just after the pandemic and it was all a bit, a bit different from how it would be now. So I would like to do it again for sure. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used real hard-boiled eggs. Yeah, it was rough finding the rotten ones a month later. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Deb is going on her first cruise in a week. So excited, Norwegian Fjords. That's a fantastic first cruise. You can't go too wrong with Norwegian Fjords, especially this time of the year. The weather can be really nice. Basically, the weather in Norway is the same as England. Like, what are the chances of it being sunny in England? It's pretty much the same on the southern part of Norway, anyway. 3 minutes to go. Quick fire question time. Bring it on. Quick fire questions. I've done a lot of podcasts recently because I've been trying to, get the word out about Cruise Globe because it is a free website. Of course, the only way I can advertise it is with myself. And please, can you share it as much as possible? But I've been doing a lot of podcasts, and on podcasts, quite often they often have quickfire and some really interesting questions that it takes me quite a long time to think of the answers. They're supposed to be quickfire, but they're not always. Best first cruise, there's 1,000 answers. I can't give you an answer because if I say the best first cruise is a 7-night princess cruise from Singapore, it's best for someone, but it's not best for someone else. So please get the guide from my website. I have a free email series. It emails you once every 3 days with everything I know about cruises. So yeah, please check that out. Stripes or polka dots? Stripes. I definitely like stripes. Live next week. Yep, same time. Yeah, same time. I think next week. As far as I know, yeah. If it changes, I'll let you know in my email that I send out every week. If you don't get my emails, please emmacruises.com/news, and that is where I say when the next live stream is going to be. Have you met Super Mario, the guy that lives on Royal Caribbean? No, I have not. Nope. Whale watching on a cruise, fun or boring? Fun for a while, then boring. Depends if you see the whales. If you see the whales, then great. Any true ocean liners being built? No. Crunchy or creamy peanut butter? No peanut butter, please. Nothing. Oh, Jack says, thank you for the live stream and your good wishes on my busted wing. Oh, I hope you get well soon. Broken arm must be so annoying. So annoying. Cruise pizza or cruise burger? Probably I eat burgers more than pizza. Probably, yeah. All right, so that is the end of the live stream. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Just a reminder on our discount, which is probably on that side, which is weird. Easter Gift 20 just for this weekend. If you are watching this, I know a lot of you watch this on the replay and you've missed the Easter discount. You can always just use code Emma Cruises and that gets you 10% off. And that's for everything forever on the cruisemaps.com. That's the website that I co-founded. And you'll find loads of cool things on there. But yes, thank you so much, everybody. I will talk to you next week. Question, am I too late to ask a question? Yes. Bye.